What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reacting to the dark side of Pinterest, the DanielTommy616 rabbit hole. This was made by Cryptid Candy, so go like it up and let's just get into it.
Very weird Pinterest account. I don't know if we can post this kind of topic here, but if we can't, let me know, please. Yesterday, I came across a TikTok that explained the discovery of a really weird Pinterest account, and since I didn't see anyone talking about it on Reddit, I wanted to share it. I had trouble sleeping after seeing that, LOL. There are several accounts of what we think is the same person, since there's always a mention of Tommy or Daniel or both in the username. They never publish anything, only have saved pictures grouped by categories, like sports, arts, hairstyle ideas, curly hair. What is really weird is the categories like children, teens, eyes, big mouths. It's always the same kind of super uncanny images that are generated or modified by AI, and that enlarges the lips or changes the size of the eyes and their shape. Sometimes the hair too. It looks like the kind of photo that SmartSchoolBoy9 published on Instagram, and it's disturbing.
If y'all don't know who that is, that's like, he's a really that's like its own rabbit hole. I'll have to react to it sometime, but it's a really crazy rabbit hole. I recommend watching a video about that if y'all haven't.
I also saw pictures with children's faces and women's breasts. WTF. It looks like he's trying to hide all of this by passing his account off as an artistic account. Some comments on TikTok think it's an AI account, and others think it's a fetish account. I think it's obviously a fetish account, and it creeps me out. What do you think? This was posted on r/RBI, a subreddit known for cracking online mysteries. The OP provides two links, one to the original TikTok video, where user Ancient Olive first brought attention to the Pinterest account, and the other link is to the Pinterest itself. This user's disturbing obsession with manipulated photos of children has sparked an ongoing investigation that leaves those who dare look into the rabbit hole wishing they never did. Most of what we do now happens online. Research, conversation, your person, your data is airport, and to work. Just hello, your account is very intriguing to me. May I ask what it's for? Art, work, people, places. Very cool. Can you tell me more? I like your photos. These messages were sent by Reddit user Techno-Romantic, who attempted to contact the owner of the Pinterest accounts directly, though the owner soon stopped responding, and that was the extent of the conversation. The Pinterest accounts first gained wider attention on October 23, 2025, after the clip began to circulate on TikTok. Since then, multiple users have reported the Pinterest profiles for behavior described as suspicious, disturbing, and potentially dangerous. Despite this, the user and the various accounts that they operate remain active. A single glance is enough to understand why these accounts are so alarming. Countless images are organized into dozens of folders, many of which categorize children and teens by highly specific traits: gender, hair color, hairstyles, and other physical characteristics or interests such as sports. These exist alongside other folders.
If you know someone who does this, or like, you know, anybody, cut them off. Like, if you do this, like, this is like, you're making AI pictures of kids. And that, I don't know how you can do that. It's like SmartSchoolBoy9. If this video is like him at all, like, there was like SmartSchoolBoy9 made like multiple accounts, and the videos were like, his fetish was like, it really went like extreme. Like, yeah, if you know somebody like this, like,
labeled hotels, houses, TV, fantasy creatures, and several collections that have already been flagged for being explicit. Much of the content on these accounts is overtly sexual, with many of the images resembling CP. One image in particular is not only a genuine picture of a child, but it's also the most dangerous. More on that in a few minutes. There is substantial evidence that these Pinterest profiles are more than a collection of disturbing and surreal images, and that the person behind them poses a real risk. It's hard to tell if the majority of images are entirely AI generated or just altered using AI, but regardless, there are a handful of images that contain photos of actual children, some of which seem to be taken by the account owner themselves. These photos do contain images of adults as well, often distorted in the same way as the children, and other sickening edits which we'll discuss later on. Even the folder labels themselves aren't reliable indicators of what's inside. One collection of saved images is titled Space, and while that is the general theme, it repeatedly veers back to the same off-putting material. As I've stated, these profiles don't just archive altered material, they're also scattered with personal photos that quietly reveal the owner's interests, their workplace, and fragments of their identity. The various Pinterest profiles are also used to share photographs of their travels and experiences, and even pictures of the inside of their own home. In total, there are 3 separate Pinterest profiles that belong to the same owner. One under the name Lee Danny with the Pinterest handle DanielTommy616, the other profile under Tommy with the Pinterest handle being DanielTommy926, and finally a profile under the name Tommy Daniel, Pinterest handle TD6047324. All 3 accounts consist of similar content, and there are at least 2 other confirmed accounts that have since been deleted. Online sleuths have put forward efforts to unmask the person behind these accounts. Some even speculate that there is no owner and possibly a bot, an AI training model for facial recognition. But after carefully investigating the profiles, I can say that there is a real person tied to these accounts, with the account owner going as far as printing and framing photos of random children to...
Like, are you serious? You're gonna go out your way. So, first of all, you're making AI generate pictures of children. Then you go to the extreme of printing them out and framing them. I don't know how people can get a fetish like this. Like, that's crazy.
Display inside of their house. There is evidence suggesting that these Pinterest profiles serve as a dog whistle and a way to exploit children. And I'm not sure if it's due to carelessness or boldness, but because of it, I also know his real name.
Love Roblox?
Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards.
There is an abundance of grotesque and perverted content showcased across the various profiles, and still there are those who believe that the reasoning behind the profiles is a lot more mundane. As an artist, this looks a lot like someone saving art references. I also have Pinterest folders, not exactly like this, but sorted by references of various stuff, like gender, age, body types, poses, features, hairstyles, clothes, etc. To me, this just feels like someone is either collecting AI images they created, or other odd stuff, or trying to build an ARG rabbit hole. Though others are quick to point out key elements that shouldn't be overlooked. Pictures with children's faces and women's breasts. At that point, it is veering into CSAM. Doesn't matter if it's AI generated. A few of the images are modified using FaceApp, identifiable by the watermark. This is a crucial detail because FaceApp transforms photos through AI but does not generate from scratch, so even the distorted images may have underlying genuine photos. Not all of the distorted visuals have the FaceApp watermark, so it's truly unclear how many underlying genuine photos are used. But as I mentioned, there are a few unaltered photos of actual children, one of which contains a link that opened an off-site communication point. It's one of the deeper layers to this rabbit hole. By this point, I'm sure it's blatantly obvious that these collections of images stem from an underlying fetish. This is further enunciated with edits of presumed AI children posed in overtly suggestive ways, their faces sometimes photoshopped with adult body parts, and images depicting intimate moments. We're obviously not going to talk about every image one by one, but a few do stand out for different reasons. For example, this modified photo of Jeremy Lee Polly. Polly was arrested in 2022, and the arrest led to investigators uncovering an underground marketplace where human remains were bought, sold, and shipped across the United States, using platforms like Facebook, PayPal, online oddity shops, and even the U.S. Postal Service. The investigation led to 9 people being charged, with body parts tracing back to a mortuary in Arkansas, a hospital in Kansas, and Harvard Medical School in Boston. Prosecutors also alleged that Polly purchased the remains of deceased infants scheduled for cremation, selling them online while families received false ashes. Another image that stands out is this manipulated photo of Columbine shooter Eric Harris. When examining the profiles that follow any one of these Pinterest accounts, it's clear that some of them also have a fixation with the shooters, often posting Columbine fan art. Considering the majority of images posted across the 3 accounts primarily consist of children and teens, these 2 examples of more violent fixations further demonstrate the mind of a truly disturbed individual. But how dangerous is the person behind these accounts? Predators often utilize seemingly harmless websites and have grown increasingly savvy in their methods of not only finding and communicating with other predators, but also in luring vulnerable children into a dangerous situation. As we discussed earlier, someone attempted to message the account owner directly, with the owner not showing much interest in a conversation. To stay under the radar, predators often avoid engaging directly on the platforms they use, instead providing links that redirect users elsewhere, where conversations can remain more private. This is a tactic I later observed being used by the owner of these Pinterest accounts, which is why I was taken aback when I first came across a QR code interspersed among the images in one of the folders. I've intentionally obscured the code so it can't be scanned from this video. I'd recommend never scanning a random QR code, especially one found in an account like this, but for the sake of this video, I went ahead and scanned it myself to see where it leads. The code links users to an expired Roku device setup. While strange that this random QR code is included in the myriad of bizarre images, its inclusion seems to be nothing more than an arbitrary post, and I couldn't really find any other image that contained any other links. That is until... On the Pinterest account DanielTommy616, in a folder titled Faces, there is a genuine photo of a teen boy who seems to be around 12 to 13 years of age. The boy is wearing a hat, looking into the camera wearing nothing but a shirt, as he's crouched over, being held from behind by another boy. An image so perverse and disturbing that it's hard to believe that it can somehow fly under the radar on Pinterest or any website for that matter. The image is a screenshot, possibly the thumbnail of a video, with the title underneath it being Gay British 2. Out of all the images found in his saved collections across all 3 separate Pinterest profiles, this is the only image that contains a link that redirects users off of Pinterest. The link takes users to a Google photo account, where users can then join the account owner and merge each other's photo albums. And this further opens the door for an off-site conversation. This would allow for other potential predators to share their images with the owner of these Pinterest accounts. And this may be the potential method that the account owner has used to source some of the material showcased on his multiple Pinterest profiles. It's not a coincidence that the account owner chose that image to provide an off-site link, as the material featured in the image itself would only attract other predators alike, solidifying that this Pinterest account is a dog whistle and a potential way to lure vulnerable children and teens. Despite multiple reports by users, Pinterest has taken zero action to remove the profiles. What makes this especially troubling is the fact that Pinterest is heavily used by younger audiences. As awareness of these accounts spread, some parents have already begun taking preventative measures. I came here as my 11-year-old daughter uses it, and I was looking through and was extremely disturbed by the hinting in some content. Stuff about eating people and children, disturbing images that gave me nightmares, and some strange creepy profiles. I'm glad I wasn't the only one to notice. She's been banned from using the site. It's disturbing. Given the risks these accounts present, one lingering question becomes increasingly important. Who is the person behind these accounts?
Still staying up late being solo.
As I mentioned earlier, the account owner frequently uploads photos he's taken himself. These pictures are scattered across the multiple Pinterest profiles. Many of them document travel: Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Mount Shasta, and other locations mostly across the United States. He displays various photos of his high-sense television, often watching old cartoons, older musical acts, and even showcases a manipulated image of a boy displayed on his TV screen. But of all the pictures he provides, these two photographs give us the most information about the owner himself. In the first photograph, we can see a fridge with multiple photos of children on top of it. At least in this picture, it's impossible to tell if any of the framed pictures contain...
Imagine walking into this guy's house and just seeing random photos of AI-generated children on top of his fridge. Dude, I'd hate to be related to this guy. That's
potential family members, though all of the children do appear to be of different ethnicities, so the likelihood of them being family members is low. The fridge is cluttered with magnets holding various objects such as a calendar, multiple MasterCards, various travel souvenir magnets, a couple of business cards, and other miscellaneous displays. Though the image quality of the picture itself is just low enough and just blurry enough to obscure any important details such as the names on the credit cards, the phone numbers on the business cards, or anything that could be used to identify them. And yes, I've tried multiple image upscalers and attempts to clarify the photo, all to no avail. But there is an important detail in the photo that reveals more about the person behind the accounts. A magnet with a Walmart logo. In fact, he has various magnets from Mainstays, Walmart's in-house brand, slapped on the fridge. On its own, this detail may seem insignificant, but it proves to be paramount, as the next photo reveals something that ties everything together. The photo shows the owner's living room, and a coffee table with more framed images. One framed picture directly matches an image showcased on one of the Pinterest accounts, confirming that at least some of the framed photographs in his house are manipulated images of children that he printed and framed. This alone adds another layer, proving that his disturbing obsession with children goes far deeper than the online world. In the distance, more framed images can be seen on two separate smaller tables, some of which do contain adults, though again, there is no way to tell who these people are. But this picture holds the biggest piece in unveiling the identity of the account owner. Until this point, the only information that could be used to reveal an identity was his usernames. I had doubts that Tommy Daniel or Daniel Tommy or even Lee Danny would actually be his name, mostly because these names seem to be common names just put together, and I assumed that the owner would use a pseudonym to post his borderline illegal content. I searched for the name Tommy Daniel and different variations on other social media sites. There is an Instagram profile whose username closely matches one of the Pinterest accounts, though I'm keeping the profile blurred because I can confirm that it's just a bad coincidence. But this image has yet another key detail hidden inside of it. I saw this image multiple times before I noticed it, a framed Walmart award with his name printed on it, revealing that his name is in fact Tommy Daniel. Again, I've tried multiple image upscalers to clarify the image, but like the other photos, further details are unsalvageable. Though the frame containing his name and Walmart logo is a direct match with Walmart's 25-year award template. Even if Tommy Daniel began working at Walmart at the minimum hiring age of 16, he would now be at least 41 years old. This age...
That's crazy to think about, because like, you know, like in your local Walmart, there could just be like a child predator or like someone that's into a fetish like this. That's crazy to think about, because you walk by so many people every day and you don't know what their lives is like about. It's just crazy to think about.
Age range aligns with his interests: old cartoons, cassette tapes, vintage instruments, and jazz music. Interests more commonly associated with an older demographic. These Pinterest accounts are an expression of a truly sick perversion. And if Tommy can hold a job for 25 years at Walmart, then he can at least to some degree assimilate into social settings and mask his obsessions. But as long as we don't know what Tommy looks like, in a way, he's getting away with it. Putting a name to the account is one thing, but putting a face to the name is another. Because if we don't know what a dangerous individual looks like, then how do we know we're in danger? But see, it's possible that Tommy has already revealed himself. Throughout the disturbed catalog, in the void of real and surreal images of children and teens, the outliers are the mundane photos.
How are you attracted to that?
Aside from a portion of the travel photos and a few others, Tommy doesn't really post mundane photos. Like the children, all the images of adults are modified.
Oh, uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that out. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back.
So we know we're in danger. But see, it's possible that Tommy has already revealed himself. Throughout the Disturbed catalog, in the void of real and surreal images of children and teens, the outliers are the mundane photos. Aside from a portion of the travel photos and a few others, Tommy doesn't really post mundane photos. Like the children, all the images of adults are modified. Except for one. There is one seemingly normal photo of a man that could potentially be a photograph of Tommy Daniel himself. The picture quality does match up with the quality of the travel photos, and the man is of older age. Because Tommy Daniel doesn't seem to have any other social media accounts based on one picture, I can't confirm with absolute certainty that this is in fact Tommy Daniel. But it is interesting that it's the only unaltered picture of an adult man throughout the profiles. During production, one of my Discord members who I shared details of the case with decided to contact Tommy Daniel through a private message on Pinterest. Almost immediately, two of his Pinterest accounts were deleted. Accounts DanielTommy616 and TD6047324 are now permanently deleted. Keep in mind that DanielTommy616 was the account that contained the image with the link that took users off of Pinterest, so it does seem like Tommy Daniel is covering his tracks. Now, the only active Pinterest accounts belonging to Tommy Daniel is DanielTommy926. It's possible that there may be other accounts that we're not aware of. I do believe that Tommy Daniel cycles through various accounts, creating them, then after some time deleting them, as a way to remain under the radar on Pinterest. 4 known accounts have now been deleted, and it's likely that he'll go on to create more and repeat the pattern. While the most dangerous account, DanielTommy616, is now gone, the person behind the account is still active. So to recap, here's what we know. His name is Tommy Daniel. He's a longtime employee of Walmart. He lives in the United States, confirmed with his images displaying a Central Standard Time Zone. Also, in one photo, we can see a picture of Tommy Daniel's phone as he edits an image. At the top of the screen, it says 63 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely, United States. And lastly, this one picture that may be of Tommy Daniel himself. For now, this is an ongoing investigation, and if there are any further updates, I'll be sure to let you know. If you're one of my OG subscribers...
Okay, that was the end of the video. Let me know if y'all want a part 2, and like I said, go subscribe to this guy. Like his video up. I'll definitely be watching more of his videos, but for now that's it. So see y'all in the next video.